In space, movement is governed by orbital mechanics. You cannot simply point a ship in a direction and accelerate. Every object in space is already moving in an orbit around something larger. To change your destination, you change your speed. Speeding up raises your orbit. Slowing down lowers it. The fuel required to change velocity is called delta V. Delta V is the single most precious resource in space travel. Every burn, every course correction, every maneuver costs delta V, and delta V is finite. This means that the trajectory of any spacecraft from the moment of launch can be calculated with precision by anyone who knows its starting delta V budget. In space, there are no surprise attacks. There is only the math. Shackleton Base, a lunar mining colony established in 2041 in the permanently shadowed crater of Shackleton at the Moon's south pole. 1,100 people. Miners, engineers, geologists, families. People who came to the Moon for the helium-3, a fuel source embedded in the lunar regolith by 4 billion years of solar wind, worth more per kilogram than almost anything on Earth. People who stayed because the Moon slowly became home. For 19 years, Shackleton Base had been productive, profitable, compliant, until the morning of March 3rd, 2060, when Governor Amara Osei broadcast a message to Earth. Earth's response took 3 days. Not because the message took 3 days to arrive. It took 3 days because committees move slowly. On the 3rd day, the United Earth Authority issued its response. The mining contracts would not be renegotiated. The colonial governance petition was denied. And the UEAS Concordia, a military cruiser massing 40,000 tons, carrying 400 soldiers and enough armament to end any argument, was ordered to depart Earth orbit and proceed to the Moon. The departure window was calculated. The trajectory was locked. The Concordia left Earth orbit on March 19th, 2060. At that moment, every person on Shackleton Base knew something that the soldiers aboard the Concordia also knew. The Concordia would arrive at the Moon on September 14th, 2060, at 14:32:07 station time. 6 months, 14 days, 7 hours, down to the second. The math had spoken. The clock had started. The next 6 months were a chess match, played in slow motion across 250,000 miles of empty space. On the Moon, Governor Osei knew she could not win a conventional fight. 400 soldiers with military weapons and training against 1,100 miners and engineers. The math on that was simple, and not in her favor. So she did not prepare for a conventional fight. She prepared for the only fight she could win. The colonists knew their tunnels, every corridor, every airlock, every pressure junction. They had built this base with their own hands. They began quietly to modify it. Airlocks, rekeyed to codes only the colonists knew. Internal pressure systems, rigged to make certain corridors impassable. Mining equipment, the industrial drills and haulers and processing machines, repositioned. Not for mining, and they had time. 178 days of it, ticking down, second by second, toward 14:32:07. Aboard the Concordia, General Sven Hauser had his own problem. Not a tactical one, not a strategic one, a human one. 400 soldiers in a metal tube, hurtling toward a battle they had not chosen and could not avoid for 6 months. In space, there is no distraction that lasts 6 months. No landscape to watch, no weather to feel, no day or night, except the artificial cycles of the ship's lighting system. just the hum of the engines, the recycled air, the knowledge shared by every soldier aboard of exactly what was waiting for them, and exactly how many days, hours, minutes, and seconds remained until it arrived. Hauser had been in combat. He knew what soldiers needed before a fight. They needed to not think. And for 6 months, in a metal tube with nowhere to go and nothing to do but think, that was the one thing he could not give them. By month 3, the Concordia had a morale problem. By month 5, it had something closer to a crisis. On July 12th, 64 days before arrival, Governor Ose sent a transmission to the Concordia. Not a threat, not a demand, an invitation. The transmission took 1.3 seconds to reach the Concordia. Hauser's reply took 11 days. It took 11 days because he had to decide whether a general responds to an invitation from a rebel. He decided that he did, because in 64 days, now 53, he was going to arrive at that base and walk into corridors designed by the people he was coming to subdue, in a space they knew. And he had read the Delta V numbers again. There was not enough fuel for a second approach. If this went wrong on arrival, it went wrong permanently. So Hauser talked. For 53 days, a general and a governor talked. Not about surrender, not about terms of engagement, about the Helium-3 contracts, about the governance petition that had been filed and denied 7 times in 19 years, about the 1,100 people who had built a home on another world and found that the world they left still thought it owned them, about the math. Not orbital math this time, the other kind. The math of what happens when 400 soldiers enter a base of 1,100 people who know every tunnel and have had 6 months to prepare. Hauser sent the numbers to Earth. Earth took 3 weeks to respond. September 14th, 2060. 14:32:07, station time. The Concordia entered lunar orbit on schedule. To the second. The math had been correct. It is always correct. 400 soldiers in a metal tube arrived exactly when the orbital mechanics said they would, exactly when every person in Shackleton base had known they would for 179 days. And on the Concordia's bridge, General Hauser looked at the moon below him and sent one final transmission to Earth. Earth's response took 3 weeks. In 3 weeks, the Concordia circled the moon. 400 soldiers looked at the surface below them and waited. 1,100 colonists looked at the ship above them and waited. The negotiations that followed took 8 months. They were not easy, but they happened. The general had done the math, not just the orbital math, not just the Delta V budget, not just the tactical approach calculations. The math of what it costs to force a solution versus the math of what it costs to find one. The math of 1,100 people who had built a home on another world and were not leaving it. The math of a fight nobody could win. Orbital mechanics is the science of understanding that you cannot simply go where you want, when you want, the way you want. You work with the physics. You calculate the window. You plan for the approach. And sometimes, the most important calculation is the one that tells you that arriving is not the same as winning, and that the longest, most difficult, most expensive trajectory is the one that leads to a fight that didn't have to happen.